Well, your GUI doesn't work in Linux and you are screwed. So let me show what I mean. Okay, so I have here a perfectly functional and usable graphical desktop. So my server here is not experiencing any issues at this point. But imagine that you do boot your workstation, your desktop, your server. If I say server, this applies to any Linux, all right? And this boots, and it usually boots to the graphical desktop, which is the most common use case for most desktop users. But you have your screen is all black and something is wrong. Your screen shows as HDMI connected or something, but you have no output on your screen when the GUI boots up, or you get that annoying gray screen saying, "Oh snap, something failed." Or this is especially most common in Ubuntu, which is you see that, "Oh snap, a sad screen and said something went wrong," and you need to initiate a troubleshoot process. So this is what you get. This is what you may see if you have a healthy desktop. If you don't, you may see a black screen, that gray screen of the "oh snap." But what do you do? So the first thing you should do or try to do is to do a Control Alt F1, Control Alt F2, Control Alt F3 to see if you can get a functional desktop that way. So either being a graphical desktop or being a text-based desktop like the one I'm seeing right now. Okay, so do Control Alt F and try to see if you get a functional terminal. Graphical, I doubt it because you are having issues, but see if you can get a non-graphical desktop going or non-graphical console going, so you can initiate your troubleshooting process. If everything fails, if you cannot get either a functional graphical console or a functional text console, this is what you do to get your system back up and running. There are many ways to do this. This is the first thing you should try because it's relatively low effort. So you try to reboot your server or your desktop the best way that you can, either forcing it off with a button or whatever. Here I'm going to do the reboot command because I can do it. If you cannot, if something is preventing you from using, if something is preventing you from using the reboot command because I don't have any consoles available, of course, force the computer off and force it on. Interrupt your grub, and in the grub, you select any entry, and the entry will do. Just select the one you want or the most recent one. And in the grub, you're going to use the E option to edit. And you go to the end of the kernel line usually it's after quiet, and you add the systemd.unit. And I'm not going to go into much details about what a systemd unit is. Just bear in mind that it's something that can control units, and a unit is kind of a machine state. You have two main units at this point: graphical unit and non-graphical unit. What we want is to put the server in a non-graphical unit so you can get access to the non-graphical GUI or text mode, non-graphical GUI, a text mode console. So we have access directly to your text mode console. So you try to circumvent all the GUI altogether. So equals unit equals, where's my, okay, multi user dot target. So let me just take a look. So systemd.unit equals multi-user.target. So there are many targets that systemd can actually manage and use, but two main ones are graphical.target and multi-user.target. This is going to boot us to the multi-user.target, which is a non-graphical command line. This made no sense, but you know what I mean. So this is going to give us a non-graphical login, hopefully, and you can log in to the system using a non-graphical desktop, so you can initiate your troubleshooting process. The good thing, one of the good things of this process is it's not permanent. So if you reboot your machine, if I say server, this applies to anything. If you reboot your machine, it's going to go back to its default state. So if its default state is to boot to the GUI, it will boot back to the GUI. So do your thing, troubleshoot, and reissue the reboot. And since this is a non-permanent thing, it will just boot back to your graphical desktop like you usually see. Hopefully you fixed your issue, your X11 or Wayland problem, updated your drivers, whatever the case may be, and now you can boot back as normal to your graphical desktop like you are seeing here. So this is a good way, the way I recommend you guys to do. It's very low effort. It will not get saved, so you can just reboot back and get back things as they were. This is how to get access to a non-graphical command line or a pure text command line, so you can work out your GUI issues if you have any, or you, for example, you by accident set your server to go to GUI, but you don't want it and you're having GUI issues to revert back. This is a way to do it, and you can also do it permanently by editing the group options, but that's for another video. Like, subscribe and comment, it really helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.